a pill.
So there's a lady down here.
I want to talk about this. Well, let me finish the slides.
Causing a bit of grief.
Please, or madam. I want to talk
See
about
her in
this
the
word.
centre of your
The Encyclopedia Britannica defines the word
Sorry,
war
Bob.
like this. It says war, in the popular sense, is a conflict between political groups. Now we have people out there tonight, who are against what I'm doing. They're for co-governance. We had one just shout out the back. Now you know what? They're entitled to have that opinion. I'm totally okay with that. In fact, I've been going around the country saying, want to hire this hall, this one, tomorrow night, and you have a meeting about what's good about co-governance. I'm all for that. I won't protest, because I think free speech is important. Give us a clap for that.
Yay!
So this is a conflict between political groups.
You just told me to shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
Might be a good idea.
You're missing the slide. You're missing all my slides, and I'm about to answer some of your problems that you're having here with this word. We're fighting for democracy. Democracy is being destroyed in New Zealand. In fact, it's under massive threat. In fact, it has already been destroyed in some respects. The Labour government talks about tweaking democracy. You can't do that. You either have democracy or you don't have democracy. You don't tweak it. As soon as it's lost, to any degree, you've lost democracy. So what else are we fighting for? We're fighting in this war for one law for all. How many agree with that?
Yes!
We are fighting. I love Christchurch. This is a hot crowd. This is amazing. We are fighting for one person, one vote, and all votes of equal value. Give us a clap for that.
Yes!
Okay.
One vote each. One
And
vote
we're
each.
fighting
That's what
for
we should be
free
having.
speech because
Yes! Yes!
we are fighting for free speech. I hope this has all been videoed. Some of you guys need to come up here with your little sticks and have a look at it from this perspective, because it's pretty cool. Do you want to do that? You can come up here and sit on the stage like a mannequin. Up here. You can come sit there. Okay, so there you go. All right. So this war we have discovered involves hostilities.
Now I'm at the
And
front.
so we have people who are hostile.
There's 300 people
I've
in here.
had people here who, on my tour,
Good crowd.
who have been very aggressive with me. Nobody's actually touched me. Nobody's hurt me. Nobody's damaged my car,
Standing room.
and that's good.
There's
Because I'm
about
actually doing what the
two,
Prime
maybe
Minister
300
and
people
the
outside.
opposition told us to do. It involves duration. This has been going on since 1975. This is the definition that came out of the Encyclopedia Britannica. They say war has duration, so I'm just going through it point by point. It has duration. This started in 1975 with the Treaty of Waitangi Act, and then out of that was birthed the Waitangi Tribunal, and that's the biggest scam New Zealand's ever had politically. And it has magnitude, you see, because I'm saying this, that New Zealand is, if you want to make a metaphor, New Zealand is on a bus, all the New Zealanders are on the bus, it's being driven by elite iwi, and they're taking the entire country towards the edge of a cliff, and if it goes over, it's unsurvivable.
And they are.
It's not iwi, it's the crown.
Don't you worry about
Iwi.
it. This is my seminar. This is, that word is very big for you, isn't it? I'm totally against all physical violence. You need to know that.
Emotional violence is just
Oh my God.
I'm totally against all physical violence. This is a political war. It's a war of words and ideas. Now, the only weapons I will ever use, and I've said this, is my brain, my mouth, and my pen. That's the only weapons I use. And you might say this, look, we started out, when I wrote this book in February this year, and we printed our first 5,000, we thought, man, you know, what are people going to resonate with this book? Well, we've sold 350,000, and we're just about to put another 100,000.
Hey!
And so, if you don't think the pen is more powerful than the sword, then you account for that. How do you account for that? Because the written word, when it goes out, it's powerful. Is that true? Yes or no? Yes, it is. And so those are my weapons. I don't need a gun. I've got something more powerful. It's this and this. We don't use this. We don't need it. In fact, the guy who first said that was this bloke here. The pen is mightier than the sword. That was the English author and playwright Edward Bulwer Lytton in 1839. This is my personal belief too. So let's clear that up right at the beginning. So who are the parties in this war? It's a war led by tribal representatives, private tribal companies, or elite Maori to take over New Zealand. Sometimes they're called treatyists. Elite Maori or treatyists are a distinct group. There may be. I'm going to have to take you out, my friend, if you keep going, because you're interrupting the flow of the meeting. She's trespassing out.
She's getting kicked out.
She can't be quiet.
She's getting kicked out. Hey! Hey!
Well, you know what? I did give her a chance, didn't I?
You did. You did.
Chances. Oh, no. Okay. So, there are maybe, let's get back, focus. There may be 1,000 in number. They do not represent all Maori or the vast majority of Kiwis. In fact, I have friends who are Maori and they don't want co-governance. I have somebody who was I was doing something in my car in Timaru, and somebody knocked on the window, and it was a Maori guy, about 50, 55 years old, and I wound my window down. He says, "I'm totally for you." And he was a guy, he said, "I'm sick of these elite iwi driving around in latest Range Rover with white leather seats and suits and beautiful shoes. Look at my kids. Look where I'm living." He says, "Where's all the money?" Tribal leaders are feathering their own nests to further their own self-interest. And if they are not stopped, New Zealand is headed to becoming the Zimbabwe of the South Pacific. Now, who else is helping Maori in this war? Because when you have a war, people take sides. Britain had, in the Second World War, had France and America and some other countries, and Germany, they had got some people on their side, Italy and Japan. And so when you have a war, you have people take sides. Well, who are the people in this war? Well, the media is well and truly on the side of elite Maori and of the takeover of New Zealand. And you know what? When you watch this meeting tonight and you see how they report this, it's going to be different, totally different from the reality of what you experience. So take note of what goes on tonight. Let me just start off by giving you a little bit of background. The $55 million public interest journalism fund is where this all started. When COVID hit New Zealand, media outlets struggled, as did a lot of other businesses, but media outlets particularly, because they had ongoings like leases and power and wages and so on. And by the time COVID had finished, many were ready to hit the wall. So the government came up with this very evil, corrupt scheme to capture the media. And it was called the $55 million Public Interest Journalism Fund. And they said, we'll get you out of debt, we'll give you some, quote, free money, but you've got to start saying some things in your newspaper, your TV station, your radio station. And what are you going to say? Well, this is what they said. This is called the T2ET framework for news media. These are the actual words from page 3 of the contract media outlets must sign if they want money. The Public Interest Journalism Fund, it says, must achieve these things. It must actively promote the principles of partnership. That is to say, you must say that Maori and the Crown are in partnership via the Treaty of Waitangi. Number 2, you must acknowledge Maori as a T2ET partner. That's pretty much the same as 1. Then it says this, number 3, participation and active protection under T2ET or Waitangi. In other words, if somebody rises up like Julian Batchelor and says, no, the Crown is not in partnership with Maori through the treaty, then you've got to attack them. You've got to protect 1 and 2. Then it says this, the contract further states Maori have never ceded sovereignty to Britain or any other state. You must start saying this in your newspaper, your TV, your radio station. You must also start saying this. This means our society has a foundation of institutional racism. You must also say we live in a society that perpetuates racism and inequities. Uh-oh. We've got a problem.
Oh dear.
My beautiful data projector just overheated. But it'll be okay. So, I think actually you guys can sit down now, if that's all right. That's great. You got what we needed.